Alright, what is up guys? So for this video, I want to tell you guys why everybody feels so dead inside all the time. Why everybody is having all kinds of mental health breakdowns. Have you guys heard of this object? It's called the Mirror of Erised. So something J.K. Rowling created in the Harry Potter universe. But I think it's very important because I think the Mirror of Erised represents social media in real life. So basically, this is an ancient magical mirror. And for anybody that stares into the mirror of Erised, so the mirror will show the person that stares into the mirror the image that this person most desperately wants in their life. So I imagine for most young men, let's say, if you're in the Harry Potter universe and if you're in Hogwarts, if you're staring into the mirror of Erised, you probably see something like, for example, in this photo frame, you have your left arm wrapped around Madison Beer, and she's your girlfriend in this image. And perhaps you have your right arm wrapped around Olivia Rodrigo. So you have Madison Beer as your main chick, and Olivia Rodrigo, she's your side chick. She's like your backup. Well, I'm not saying that's going to be 100% of the cases. Or for example, some young men perhaps when they're staring into the mirror of Erised and they see themselves with a mansion, with a Bugatti, with a Lamborghini, and a bunch of other sports cars. Or perhaps they see $200 million in cash that's sitting right in front of them. Just things like that. And obviously, that's what makes the mirror of Erised extremely dangerous. That's why Dumbledore had it removed from the castle, because it was driving so many men insane. Well, that's just the reality of social media. I think so many people feel so dead all the time. Because the reality is that nowadays, for example, if some guy is scrolling through a TikTok, he sees Charlie D'Amelio, or he sees a Bella Poarch, or perhaps he sees a Brooke Monk, he's going to be thinking that, oh my god, there's so many of these super hot, super good looking baddies everywhere. But the reality is that for a regular guy, you have absolutely zero chance. It's just a fake illusion. It's the mirror of Erised. And just like I mentioned with my female cousin who has been living in Canada for a couple years now, and yeah, she has a super rich boyfriend, and he owns a house in the Greater Toronto area. So she blew up online just by doing live streaming daily, pretty much. And it's on one of those chat rooms. It's just very, very dark. It's basically the softcore version of OnlyFans. So basically, every night she turns on the lights, she turns on the camera, she's like, "Hey guys, what is up? Look at me. I'm so cute. I'm so innocent. I'm so sexy. How about let's just have a chat? Do you guys want me to sing a song for you guys?" I mean, this is a very, very dark stuff. And if you're wondering why, her parents would approve her to do something like that, well, it's all about the money. So last December, I got to meet her mom, and I believe she said that, she's averaging about 100,000 yuan a month. 100,000 yuan a month. So in China, the average income for average Chinese workers is about 5,000 yuan a month. So 100,000 yuan a month, that's $13,700 US per month. Even in the United States, that is a monumental sum of money. And the reason why it was approved by her parents was because she's been sending her mom an insane amount of money every single month. So money changes everything. Everything in this world, it's surrounded by money. You might have 99 problems, but I can guarantee you this: if Elon Musk wired you $50 million US into your bank account right now, probably 95 out of those 99 problems will be gone instantly. So that's just the reality. But those online chat rooms, they're so dark. It's the same thing, right? For American men, if you're scrolling through Twitch, you're seeing all of these girls, you think, oh my god, these girls are so young, so innocent, these baddies. But I can tell you guys this. So those, the Chinese girls on those online chat rooms. So typically a work day for my cousin, what it looks like is that typically it's usually maybe she'll stream every single night for about 4 hours. And she takes some days off, not every single day. So let's say typically from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. And then she'll stay on the chat room for 4 hours with her, bros, whatever you want to call them, who keep sending all of her money. So, and before that, sorry, so usually it's an 8-hour workday. She will spend 4 hours, yes, 4 hours putting on makeup every single day before she goes live. Like, I can't imagine spending 4 hours putting all of this weird stuff on my face. I mean, if I actually went through that same process of putting on makeup for 4 hours, I can probably go like full transgender. God knows what the hell I'm going to look like by the end of the day. And still, when she goes to live every single night, right, she turns on these beauty filters, and there's all kinds of lighting. She changes the lighting in the room. She changes the background. So, I mean, all of that stuff is fake, right? All of those, you think these gorgeous snow bunnies or steamed rice bunnies, whatever it is, right? it's all 100% fake. None of this is real. And I think, yeah, it's just like staring into the mirror of Erised, right? It gives you these, dream image. You think that Madison Beer or Victoria Justice or Olivia Rodrigo is your girlfriend, but none of that is real. The reality is that unless in real life you can make it to the top 1% of income earners, you'll never be able to pull off baddies like that. It's just it's a fake fantasy. There's also one more thing. How do I call this? Let me write this down. So maybe I'll call it the missing tile effect. What do I mean by the missing tile effect? Nobody's life is perfect. Everybody on this earth has problems. Jeff Bezos, he has problems. Elon Musk, he has problems. Donald Trump and JD Vance, they have a lot of problems. Tucker Carlson has problems. Taylor Swift has problems. Candace Owens has problems. Brett Cooper, she has problems. Ben Shapiro, well, I mean, he's got to have a lot of problems in his life. But nothing is perfect, right? So, look at someone like Ben Shapiro. Even though I don't agree with a lot of the stuff he says, but the reality is I'm probably never going to be as rich as Ben Shapiro. I mean, that guy probably makes something like, at least I imagine, $20 million a year, right? So good for him, right? There's nothing I can do. That's what I'm talking about. The missing tiles effect. So basically, let's say if you as a broke guy, right? And if you're walking down the street, doesn't matter where you are. You could be in New York or Boston or LA, or you could be in Tokyo or Seoul. All you see is a super rich, super successful man. You don't look at the homeless guys. You don't look at the guys who are struggling. You don't look at the manual laborers. You don't look at the bricklayers. You're always comparing yourself to the guys who are super rich and super successful. I mean, if you as a normal average guy, if you're always looking at Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, yeah, you're going to be so depressed all the time. So this is what I mean by the missing tile effect. So, if you're a guy that's struggling to get a girl, and every time you just go out there, and let's say if you go to a Times Square, let's say you could be going to the amusement park, or you could be going to the movie theater, you could be going to a restaurant or a shopping mall, all you see is couples everywhere. So, that's the missing tiles effect, for example. Or, let's say, and I'm sorry to all the guys out there who are suffering from this, right? Let's say if you're someone with a very, very small penis, if you're a guy who's born with a small dick, then there's absolutely nothing you can do. And that's the missing tile effect, because that's all you can think about. All you want to think about is that, how I can make my dick grow bigger. But there's no way for you to grow your dick, I'm sorry to say. And it's the same thing, right? If you're born as a short guy, if you're anywhere between 5'3" to 5'5", you just gotta learn to cope. Take some incel copium, because there's absolutely nothing you can do, right? If you as a short guy, you walk into a room, I mean, there are going to be guys who are going to be around your height, maybe just slightly taller than you, but all you see is guys who are 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". And it's the same thing, let's say if you're a bald guy, right? And then if you're having trouble growing your hair, you tried pretty much everything, and your hair is just disappearing every single day. And every time you walk into the room, right, anytime you're staring to the crowd, all you can see is that there's a bunch of men that's full of hair. But in reality, you're not the only guy that's balding in that crowd. Probably, 1 out of 5 men is going to suffer the same fate as you. But, that's the missing tiles effect. People are just so focused on the thing that they cannot have in their lives. Basically, your perception of reality due to the social media is very, very warped. For example, right now it's Pride Month still, right? I do agree with the fact that I think, yes, there's definitely more men and more women that's becoming gay. And I think there are a lot of reasons for this. I mentioned this in previous videos. But if you're talking about, those extreme rare cases, I mean, obviously you see a lot of them on social media, like, the queer, the non-binary, the transgenders, the people who want to go on puberty blockers or possibly, cut their balls off. I think that, even in 2025, it is a very, very small percentage of the population. And the reason why, you're seeing some of these videos, you see some of these people blow up on the internet is because generally speaking, right, people who are the craziest, generally speaking, people who are the loudest, right, and they make it to the top of the algorithm. Because if one guy is out there screaming, he's like, I'm two-spirited, I'm non-binary, yeah, so that video is probably gonna blow up. And let's say if that video gets 20 million views on TikTok, then you're out there just scrolling through social media, you think everybody is going insane. But even in 2025, that is a very, very small percentage of population. I'll give you guys a great example. So obviously, everybody has seen those crazy videos of these insane car crash compilation videos. And let's say if you're addicted to one of those channels, once you've seen 50, 100, and 200 videos, you might be freaked out about driving, or or even going outside because you think there's car accidents all the time. Well, I had that dash cam for about 4 years. I did not record a single car accident. Yes, well, there has been cases, obviously I've recorded where the car is already wrecked, but like what happened, let's say, 2 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes afterwards, I just drove past the scene of accident. But I've actually never recorded the accident as it unfolded on my dash cam. In 4 years of driving, right? Basically, the craziest clips I have is just the guys running in red lights. That's pretty much it. Or like illegal U-turns or illegal mergers, someone driving onto the shoulder. I probably get those once in a while, maybe once or twice a month. That's pretty much it. Yeah, in 4 years, I never even recorded a car accident. So, a lot of this stuff due to the internet, due to social media, it's amplified. At the end of the day, right, all the women, they might be thinking that, oh my God, all of these men, they're just terrible. They're just so toxic. We need to crush the patriarchy. This is a toxic masculinity. All the men are terrible. And vice versa is true. A lot of men, they think that, modern women, these hoes, these thoughts, these 304s, these women, they only want rich and successful men. They absolutely hate men, they want to bash on men, and that they want to absolutely destroy men. Yes, well, I agree. There are some women who are like that. Once again, some women. I don't think the majority of women are like that. So, those I described, the really, really crazy ones, that might be 10%. It could be less. It could be 5 or 7%. Yes, I do agree some women are like that. And vice versa is true. I do agree that some men are also crazy as well. But once again, some men, that might be 5% of men, right? It could be 6 or 7%. I don't even think it's 10% of men. So, but unfortunately, due to the effect of social media, everything is glorified. So that's all people see. If, for example, if you're a guy that's out there that you're struggling to get a girl, then all of a sudden, right, you find clips from, let's say, Just Pearly Things, or you find the clips from whatever podcast, or if you find clips on Andrew Tate, or if you find clips from Myron Gaines. Then after you watch some of these videos for a while, then the next thing you know, you're going to be thinking that, oh my God, all of these women are so terrible. Screw it. I'm going my own way. I absolutely hate women. I don't want to go on dates. I don't want to get a girlfriend. I don't want to get married. I don't want to have children. So all of this is very terrible. The social media revolution and its consequences has been a total disaster for the human race, not just in America, but also in Canada, also in Europe, also in Australia, and also in Asia. And I believe this is a massive contributing factor as to why, we have the 50% divorce rate in our modern society. Although despite all of that, there's one point I do want to make crystal clear. Yes, I don't agree with a lot of the stuff Andrew Tate or Myron Gaines or Brian Alice or these guys say, but there's one thing that is absolutely true, and it's universal. It's not just about white women or Latin women or Asian women or black women. Generally speaking, women only want the best. Not necessarily the top 1%. What do I mean? Let's say, if you're an average woman in America who's making about, $45,000 a year, there's absolute zero chance if you as a guy who is also making $45,000 a year or less, right? She will never even look at you. Generally speaking, when it comes to dating, marriage, and relationships, women will only date horizontal and vertically up, while a man will date horizontal and vertically down. Because a rich and successful man, he has no problem marrying a girl who's making minimum wage working at McDonald's, given the fact that, obviously she's young, she's not a hoe, and she's fairly attractive, of course. This guy's making 6 figures. He's not going to want a big fat white girl or a big fat black girl. But there's no way a woman who's very successful, if she's a lawyer or doctor or engineer, she'll marry some average looking dude, let's say that's 5'7", that's making a $12.50 an hour working at the McDonald's. It just doesn't work like that. Men or women are completely different. And one of the massive contributing factors as to why there's so many left women in our society, because I'm sure you guys have all seen the numbers. Pretty soon, roughly 50% of the women in Western countries, they will never get married and they will never have children. It's the red heels effect, because women will only marry and procreate with men who makes more money than them. And that is a universal principle. It is accepted by the heaven and the earth, and that is going to be true anywhere on earth. So yeah, that's going to be my key message at the end of the day. Spend less time on social media. But if you want to have leisure time, right, if you want to watch some videos, honestly, go subscribe to some of those educational channels. Like, for example, let's say some channels that's doing historical documentary. You can watch a 2-hour full-length documentary, let's say on Napoleon or Alexander the Great, or on World War II. And so this way, at least you're learning a lot of information. And I think those long-form contents, they really help, because those 10, 15, 20 seconds TikTok TikTok shorts, they're 100% rotting the minds of the youths today, and it has 100% destroyed their attention span. Right? If you want to fix racism, if you want to fix discrimination, judge people by the contents of their character. Not all black people are career criminals. Not all black people are gangster wannabes, right? Not all Arabs are terrorists. And only a very, very small percentage of Asian people actually eat cats and dogs and rats. The vast majority of them, they just eat normal food. They just eat things like tofu or eggplant or napa cabbage or fried chicken. Not every single man is terrible. Not every single man is a wife beater. Not every single man is a sexual predator. And not every single woman is a hardcore liberal feminist that wants to destroy the patriarchy. That it's just a small percentage of the population. And the reason why you keep seeing those is because, once again, people, generally speaking, the loudest and the craziest people, right, they get the most attention, and they make it to the top of the algorithm. So, you're most likely to see those people every time you turn on social media. So you think everybody's like that. So my main message at the end of the day is just, actually go outside, join a run club or something, actually go meet some people, maybe train for a marathon. If marathon's too much, start with training for a half marathon or even just a 10K. Actually go outside, touch some grass, drink some Gatorade, socialize and talk to some people, because I do believe that most people on planet Earth are actually good people. And unfortunately, with the rise of social media and the internet, the really, really crazy ones, they have completely taken over the algorithm. So it's giving everyone a very warped sense of reality. So once again, right, that's the mirror of Aracet. And also, the missing towel effect, right? If you're a guy with a small dick, now you can think is that, how I can make my penis bigger. Those are the things that's 100% out of your control. But however, there are some things, for example, your fitness level, for example, your weight. Maybe you can't make yourself grow any taller. Maybe you can't make your dick any bigger, but you have 100% control of your fitness and you have 100% control of your weight. So, being fat is 100% unacceptable. And yes, I agree. Maybe not everybody can get to, 100,000, right? Not everybody can become lawyers. Not everybody can become doctors or engineers. But, if you're a guy in 2025, especially if you're into your late 20s now, or if you're in 30s and 40s, if you're still making minimum wage, if you're working at Dairy Queen or McDonald's or Tim Hortons or Burger King, then yeah, you really, really need to turn your life around. You got to get your together, because never mind, finding the love of your life. How can you survive in 2025 if you're making minimum wage? So yes, there are certain things that you can do in order to improve your life, but stop worrying about what other people are doing, and stop spending so much time on social media, because 90% of the stuff you see on social media, it's all 100% BS lies. So that's the most important message at the end of the day. Just get out there, get active, and actually talk to some people.
Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing.